Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode of The Sauce. Tyler Dell alongside Edge Mikari. We cannot thank you enough for spending part of your Islander Ranger rivalry Tuesday with us today.
Yeah, I can't wait for
Andrew,
dumpsters on ice. I'm great. At least it's warm outside.
Yeah, this is going to be – it's going to be a sight.
And it's going to be a sight.
So the NHL finally came back. Yeah, NHL finally came back on Saturday. Quite a bit of interesting things to go around. Some questionable match penalties, suspensions, and a Gretzky chase that got much closer.
Getting to the nitty gritty, baby. Almost a single digis.
So I guess we'll start. Ovechkin had a hat trick Sunday. I believe they were playing. Don't quote me on it because I'm going to take a look now. They were playing Edmonton. Actually, Edmonton of all teams. That's kind of funny. Had a hat trick, empty netter to seal the deal towards the end of the game. Now 13 away from breaking the record, 12 to tie it. Pretty safe to say that there's a pretty good shot this guy's going to do this next month in March.
Yeah.
Unless he does Islander things and, he breaks yet another record versus the Islanders in our arena on the 6th.
That's what I'm counting
on. Selfishly, I want him to do it here for obvious reasons so I can see it.
Yep.
But I think we both know that Washington probably has, 18, 19 games in March?
Yep.
Like, he's probably going to do it before then.
He will most definitely do it before. I'd be surprised if it goes to April.
I think in all reality, I think we're going to be – the conversation is going to be that he broke 900 at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Islanders Stars game on Sunday came with a interesting match penalty call.
Interesting is the right word.
When they showed the slow-mo of it on the board, I will say that the slow motion replay kind of didn't do him any favors because it made it look a lot worse than it did.
Yeah, the way his head shot back.
I kind of thought he got. Well, yeah, because I felt like he did kind of hit here first a little bit, like right that jaw side a little. But
yes, yeah.
I would say majority of contact went into his chest.
Yeah.
And the chest was, regardless, the chest was the first point of contact.
Yeah, that chest, upper shoulder area, and then obviously it, grazed off the shoulder, kind of went up a little bit. I was not a match penalty.
I mean, it's also called common physics, but
yeah.
I mean, listen, Monday came and went. No disciplined phone calls were handed out. No in-person hearings came. So that tells you already that the league knew. I think one of the things I was mentioning to a couple of people in that situation, whether it was or was not a match penalty, the call of being a match on the ice is because you can't listen. You know how the new all match penalties get reviewed.
Yeah.
So you can't call it a 2 to 5. You can't upgrade the penalty. You can only downgrade it.
Yeah, true.
So the call of the 5-minute major on the ice. It's I'm not going to say it's the right call because it wasn't, but it's understandable because you can always take it away. How that made it through Toronto and didn't get downgraded, I have no idea.
I think it's solely because in that replay that what's his name, the Stars player, I forgot who it was, his head shoots back. It's just crazy and having another angle from the other side. Anything from straight on would have been, you know.
And I think it also has to do. Well, I also think it has to do with the fact that he did end up. I believe he did end up leaving the game. He was hurt.
Yes, he did.
So I could. So you could also see it from the perspective of the league, especially with everything going on right now. If they don't eject him from the game, and he is legitimately hurt, you could argue the case that you're asking for the rest of that game to be a disaster.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I was there, you were there. I think we could both agree that game was much more physical than others had been for a while.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, we've said this before. Islanders Stars is always like a weird matchup. Games always end like 5-3. They go to overtime.
For whatever reason,
fights.
Yeah, the Islanders Stars, for whatever reason, always feels like it's like it was Sunday. It's 4-3, or it's one team is just blowing out the other one 7-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, Islanders Stars is one of those weird. I don't know how to explain it kind of games.
It just always turns into something fun to watch.
So, I believe it was Saturday night, or it might have also been Sunday. Trevor Zegras caught a 3-game suspension on an interference call. I've never seen somebody get suspended 3 games for interference. So I'm gonna kind of need to. I'm gonna need to take a look at that one.
No, it was. He deserves it.
Yeah, I am gonna take a quick look at it. Let's see. Suspended 3 games for this interference call. Yeah.
It's a bad hit.
That's not even close. It's not even close, and he leads with his shoulder straight into his head. And Rasmussen never sees that coming.
No.
Never saw that coming. So if Anaheim and Detroit play each other again on the schedule, that'll be fun.
Which I hope they do, but I don't think they do.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else. I would say exactly super duper league wide crazy that happened over the weekend.
No, in terms of league news, no.
Yeah, it was a fairly quiet return to play, with the exception of the hat trick, the suspension. I mean, in a weird way, I'm kind of surprised it's been as quiet as it's been. Because you're talking now as of what's that?
I was going to say I do want to throw my thoughts, my condolences to the friends and family of Al Trotwig. That guy was an icon on MSG. Loved watching him. He passed away yesterday.
Yeah, longtime MSG broadcaster, did work with the Olympics. I do believe he even did minor, brief stints through ESPN for a bit. Mm-hmm. That's I would say more specifically towards yours and my communities, being just 2 guys who have their teams playing on MSG. We've both seen him at least once. So
yep, he was also huge. He did all the mixed games too.
Yeah, I know he did. Not recently, I mean, like within the last like 5 or 10 years recently, but
yeah, he had
showed
left.
up on Islander TV once or twice.
He was fighting cancer.
Well, no, I'm talking about like even as long as I've been watching hockey, he might have popped on Islander TV once, maybe twice.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
I think maybe even during the pandemic, he was there a couple of times, just because it was weird, and we kind of every TV network's like all hands on deck mode.
Yeah, literally.
Where you had basketball guys calling the hockey games, the hockey guys calling the basketball games.
Yep.
So to lose somebody from your informal community is it's never a fun time, and the hockey community as a whole lost a good broadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
As far as going back to the league-wide news thing, I am a little surprised it's been as quiet as it has been since Saturday, only because by this time tomorrow, you'll be, 10 days out of the trade deadline?
Yes, sir.
I'm very surprised to find that, like, a lot of teams didn't have, so to speak, deals in place over the Four Nations, and they didn't just come flooding through on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, for real.
Alexa, nobody asked you. She's throwing her 2 cents in over there from the table.
Always has to. Just can't shut up.
I don't know. How are we feeling about the deadline? Is this going to be a dud line, or is this going to be more active than we think?
No, I think it's a kind of like a powder keg. I think there are trades in place. I think that most managers wanted to see how their teams came back after the Four Nations break and played, and even health-wise, making sure everyone is healthy. So I could see after maybe this weekend is when it blows up.
So the way that the Islander roster is panning out right now, I have a feeling that we're going to do something incredibly stupid in the next 10 days.
That would be the way.
Well, so Islanders got back Scott Mayfield and Ryan Pollock Sunday for the Dallas game, which was good. Boquist was a healthy scratch. Dobson is expected to be back tonight, which I don't know how that's possible.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like he's like, the last report I saw was they were making some paper moves to make it happen. Listen, we saw the picture of his knee. This is the part where I'm going to set you up for a reel and cue your reaction to the last picture that you saw of it.
Yeah.
And we did not think he was going to walk for a year, let alone skate.
No.
Okay, so Dobson is actually not going to play tonight.
Oh, well.
Oh, okay. This is interesting. So Mayfield's a healthy scratch. Boquist back in. Dobson more likely Thursday. And I'll be honest with you, coming off the leg injury he's coming off of, and Islander Ranger games are historically very physical, I don't know if I would want him on the ice tonight either.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So basically, the Islanders are telling everybody Barzal is done for the season, as we already knew, but
yeah,
it is expected for him to make the jump to long-term IR, which I think everybody also is not like that. That's also going to free up $9.25 million for that team.
Yeah,
I have a feeling we're going to make a decision that we're going to regret.
I can see that.
But it could be, I don't know. I just feel like they played. They played well enough on Sunday rather. 41 shots on goal, only lost 4-3. despite what everybody wants to tell you, there was no controversial goalie interference call. That was a goalie interference every day.
Yeah, that was textbook goalie interference.
Yeah, I mean, oh, well, the Dallas guy hit his own goalie. Yeah, because Engvall pushed him into him. That's how goalie interference is. And his heels were in the crease.
Yes.
Oh, here's a little bit of wild card race news for you, because this will affect you too, sort of. Andrew Kopp from the Detroit Red Wings underwent successful surgery today to repair a torn left pectoral tendon.
Ow.
He will miss the remainder of this season. Should be ready for the beginning of the preseason.
That's a big hit for Detroit.
That's a tremendous hit for Detroit, and that can do either really good things or really bad things for both of us.
Yeah.
If you want to win a Stanley Cup this year, it's going to do really good things. If you know you're going to make the playoffs and get smacked, that's really bad.
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, I love when Andrew Kopp was a Ranger for that one postseason. He's an underrated player. That sucks.
But now looking at Puckpedia, not sponsored by Puckpedia, of course. You talk about making a move that either you do or don't have to make, so to speak. Andrew Kopp is making $5.5 million a year, on top of already having about $13 million in deadline cap space. Detroit can go out and make a decent move.
Yeah, they can. That's
if it's me and I'm Detroit, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I'm not doing that trade. And I'm going to start selling off some pieces. Like,
I don't know.
All right, hear me out. You're not going to get much, or you shouldn't get much. I think you move Patrick Kane.
Oh yeah, to me is a no-brainer. I've been over Patrick Kane since his Rangers stint.
I mean, listen, Patrick Kane and Tarasenko should be the first two casualties of this team.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys on here I wouldn't trade.
Oh, I mean,
not for any other. Yeah, not for any other reason than just being young.
Yeah.
So Tarasenko to Florida, pencil that in.
Sure.
Patrick Kane to Vegas. Mark Stone's due for his yearly injury.
Oh, good God.
If to me, Vegas is kind of just becoming like, or they honestly, they were the Dodgers before the Dodgers were the Dodgers. You kind of just look at them and it's like, why are you helping them?
Yeah.
Stop making deals with them. And the craziest part is that a lot of the deals that they've made to help them have come from within their own division.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, why?
Well, hold on.
So, yeah.
I'm just thinking Patrick Kane's trying to assemble the infinity gauntlet of original six franchises. This guy's going to somehow go to Toronto.
Oh, he's been with the Rangers. He's been with Chicago.
He's been with Detroit. He's halfway there.
Detroit. So he needs to do Boston, Montreal, and Toronto.
Yep.
Yeah, see, if he's going anywhere this year, it's going to be Toronto because they're the only ones close to winning.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not going to Boston. He probably
goes to Boston,
Montreal or Boston.
Yeah. Well, here's a good one. Does Patrick Kane have any type of movement clauses?
He has a full no trade clause, but he would waive it for Toronto.
So Patrick Kane comes with a $4 million cap hit this season.
Detroit would have to eat some salary if hypothetically they wanted to give him to Toronto.
Well, how much?
Toronto has like 2 and change, I think.
They have 2.2 in deadline cap. So unless this is the one and only move they're going to make.
Yeah. We're going to have Chicago broker it, as per usual.
Yeah, because there's nobody on the Toronto roster I see them really giving up. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, Toronto can take the deal straight up and just leave themselves with $200K in deadline cap.
True. Yeah, true.
But do you want to do that?
No. Hot take. Watch him go to Columbus.
Yeah, is it me or is it like? Is it weird that Patrick Kane has a job and Phil Kessel doesn't?
That is weird.
I'm like, Phil Kessel has still yet to officially put in his retirement paperwork, which is a shame because he's retired. Like, that's it.
He's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's weird because I campaigned when Phil Kessel was saying he'll play anywhere for like $2 million.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting at my computer. I'm just like, hello, make a call.
Well, the Canucks extended Kevin Lankinen.
Yeah, they extended him to a 5-year deal. I think. I want to say it was yesterday morning or maybe Sunday night.
It was Saturday.
Never mind.
No. 4.5 AAV. That's real good.
So, all right, let's do this. I'm going to get real comfy right here in the corner. What are you expecting from the Rangers at the deadline?
Dude, oh, man. I don't know. Because, I think in reality, we ain't doing anything this season. We were being outshot 31-8 halfway into the game against the Pens on Sunday.
With a 2-1 lead.
Somehow with 2-1 lead. Somehow we ended up winning. We have so many guys that we really should be trading with expiring contracts. Like, we really should just be completely selling with the exception of 2-3 guys. Like, there's no reason that Lindgren's still on the team. There's no reason that a handful of guys are still on the team. Riley Smith is still on the team. Let's just sell it off, forfeit the season, rebuild in the offseason. We'll have plenty of cap space. They actually just called Brendan Othman up. Hopefully he plays tonight. That's kind of what I want to see from the rest of the season. Get rid of the quote-unquote dead weight that some of the playoff teams will take, bring up all the young guys, and see what we can do in the offseason.
So looking at your roster now, it's kind of wild to me that Ryan Lindgren is still on your team.
He won't be in 2 weeks.
I know, but it's still wild. Yeah, I also think it's kind of really funny that there's a $3 million pay gap between your highest and second highest paid players.
Yep.
Dude, I'm sure I don't have to tell you this. That JT Miller contract's going to come back to get you.
But you know what? He at least is producing, so I don't mind it. He's making less money than Mika. He's producing way better than Mika.
Yeah, you know what? As a manager, I'm going to be honest with you too. Maybe not now, but I could see him. I could see that deal being moved this summer.
I just don't know who would take it. That's one of the most unmovable contracts in the league.
It really is.
It's so bad. He's a minus 26.
Yeah.
And he plays on the power play.
Vinny Trocheck's deal is
His isn't really that bad. He's not doing great this year, but neither is the entire team. A center that's that good at faceoffs at 5.5, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, the Trocheck deal, like, I wouldn't bitch about the money. I would be more inclined to be upset about the term.
We had another, what, 3-4 years?
He doesn't expire till 2029.
Yeah, he'll be, what, 35? It's not great, but whatever. I'm realizing that's
mean,
one I'm not that worried about.
And a lot of the quote-unquote money coming off the books for you this year doesn't really help. You get like 3.75 back from Riley Smith. You get 800,000 back from Jimmy Vesey, $4.5 million back from Lindgren, and everybody else is RFAs that you're going to have to re-up.
Yeah, most of them aren't going to command crazy money, but imagine having that $8.5 million from Zibanejad for something else, or having, the $11.5 million from Igor. Even though I'm a huge Igor supporter, but he's been really bad since the Four Nations break.
Yeah, I mean, looking at your RFAs, I mean, Brendan Ottman's making $863 right now. He's going to actually. He's not. He's got 2 more years till he's an RFA.
Yeah, he's still good.
Will Cooley, if he sticks around, he's going to go up to like a 1.25, and
which is at the speed. That'll be my favorite contract in the world. He's so good.
I'd be honest with you. I would get rid of Matt Rempe.
I wouldn't.
It's the thing with him, and I said it last season. He's going to become a sideshow again.
I just see so much. He worked so hard, and because of all the suspensions and controversial hits he's had, that's all they look at. But his forecheck is so good. He is so much better with the puck than people think.
No, I don't disagree. He's kind of got that. How do I say this? He's kind of got that Zdeno Chara syndrome, though. Like, he's a big guy. Any hit he lays, he's going to get nailed for now.
Yeah, which I'm happy, actually, the hit that he made in the Pittsburgh game, they had kind of similar to the hit Cizikas had, but it went in different directions. They called it a 5-minute major, and then they reviewed it and brought it back down to a 2. It really shouldn't have been anything, but
yeah. Obviously, we know how you feel about the Lindgren deal. I'm interested to see what happens this summer with K'Andre Miller.
Yeah, he's an interesting one because if you read Twitter, you're going to think he is a massive liability. He's awful. His metrics are actually very good. He's been our second best defenseman, not named Adam Fox.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to get, I would expect, I'm hoping 4.5. It's going to be more than that, but I'm hoping for 4.5.
I think with the rising cap next year, I think you're probably sitting more around 5.5.
Most likely, yes.
So overall, you're going to buy or sell next week, and if you're selling, who's the first one out the door?
We're selling, and Lindgren. Luna. Ryan Lindgren's gone.
You heard it from Luna first.
Yeah.
In the Rangers case, I find it interesting because the obvious answer is sell. But you make a trade to bring in a guy like JT Miller, who is producing. Yeah, it's easy for a fan to still justify the sell, but how do you justify a sell as a front office?
Well, you know what, though? It depends on – because when we're saying sell, it's not like we're trading Artemi Panarin. We're getting rid of these forwards who we can replace very easily, especially with, like, trading Ryan Lindgren. Zach Jones is now a full-time player, and that's an automatic upgrade every day of the week. Right. You trade Riley Smith. You bring Brett Berard up, along with Brendan Othman, who's here now, because Chris Kreider probably should go on LTIR, but that's a whole other thing. So it's even though we're selling, I would still expect to be somewhat competitive because of who we are keeping and the younger guys that we'd be bringing up.
Well, there's something to be said for responsible selling, where, like you said, you're not trading every single thing you have. You're not trading all your top guys.
Yeah,
but if the right guy, if the right offer comes around to acquire a top 6 forward, a top 4 defenseman, and it makes sense and doesn't damage your future, you could still consider that part of a responsive sell.
Yeah, especially when the free agent class this summer is loaded.
Yeah, no, this is going to be, for the sake of content, I do need to see when July 1st is this year.
It's a Tuesday. What's today? A Tuesday.
Well, by July 1st, I'll be working day shift, so we'll have to film late, which is probably better because then we'll film afternoon.
It's all wrapped. Yeah.
Not like the year we filmed at 11:30 and went till 5:30.
Bro, we had a 4-hour stream.
And with 4 hours staring at each other.
That when I went back to that episode to cut for that TikTok video, it was 4 hours.
Yeah, that was painful to watch.
I had to download a 4-hour video to use 7 seconds of it.
Yeah, listen, for the content, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Islanders go, I have 2 feelings. We're either going to sit still and do nothing, which is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Or irresponsible purchases will be made.
Yeah, I can see some irresponsibility coming.
It's just one of those, when you're in our situation, right? And I'll look at the standings so I give you an accurate number. So I went dark.
Oh God! Someone get my boy back,
bruh.
He's just an avatar.
My browser lost connection to my camera, which I don't know how. Let me see.
Your camera lost it thinking about the contract extension that Pierre Engvall's going to get.
Yeah, another one. So the Islanders are 5 points out of the playoffs.
Right. Yes, they are.
The elimination chamber started early.
Yeah.
So they're 5 points out of the playoffs. They're competing with a Ranger team who's like 50-50. Like, they might get in.
Yeah.
A Bruins team that's not getting in.
Nope.
A Blue Jackets team that's probably getting in.
I would say so.
A Senators team that's clinging to dear life. True. And a Detroit team, after losing Rasmussen for however long they're going to lose him and Andrew Kopp for the rest of the season, is about to go on a dramatic free fall.
Yep.
On top of all that, like, if you're the Islanders front office, the next 2 games this week are tremendous.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They're 4-point games.
Yep.
So we playing you, we beat you, it brings us to 59 points. We beat Boston, brings us to 61 points. You're right back in it.
Yeah.
And even right now, you're not even out of it.
No, not by any means.
Like if you look up and down realistically, for the most part, Buffalo is the only team that's legitimately out of this wild card race.
Yeah, they're the only ones that are not going to make it, and Pittsburgh is getting there, but Buffalo is the surefire nope.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh again is like, okay, they can. It's going to take a lot of work, and I don't honestly put it past Pittsburgh to do it.
They've played more games than everybody else.
That's their biggest problem, and that's the other thing with the Islanders. They have a game in hand. They have at least one game in hand on everybody.
On everyone, yeah.
And Boston, they have 2.
Yep.
That is, again, depending on how you look at it, and depending on what you want to happen, that is terrifying.
It's very, very easily the 2 wildcard spots could be the Rangers and Islanders, dependent on the Blue Jackets mostly.
Listen, I'm cool with you making the playoffs as long as I get into it.
It's like when you have that little 8-foot putt playing golf. Good.
Because listen, I don't. I know I sit here and I know I've had conversations with other people. Oh, go for the tank, get the draft pick, rebuild the farm. No.
No. Hey, listen, the draft pick doesn't always work. Most of the time, it doesn't.
Not even most of the time doesn't the draft pick work. Listen, I mean this respectfully. What have you done since 2014?
Nothing.
What have I done since 1983?
Nothing.
Less than nothing.
Yeah.
I'm and listen, I can only vouch for everything from like 96 up. I'm tired of it. I want to win.
It's not fun watching non-competitive hockey.
Go again. I joke about it all the time, but if you really pay attention to it, it's real. It's year 35 of a 5-year rebuild.
Yeah.
This is the only team that could put themselves in such a bad situation where they sell the team to a legitimate con artist.
Yeah. Yeah.
This team is a mess. Do you ever watch that on ESPN?
Yes.
You watch Big Shot, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you know exactly what I'm talking about?
I'm following.
This is the fact that was even allowed to happen.
Makes no sense, but that's the world we live in,
No, it was the world we did live in. Now it takes you like 2 years to officially buy a team.
Yeah, true.
That guy did it in 45 minutes with a Post-it note and a bad check at a restaurant. Yeah, listen, I would like to be responsibly buying. And I mean responsibly buying in like the perfect world situation where you make a trade that legitimately helps this team, but we ship out a bad contract on the way out.
So are you no longer on board with trading Brock Nelson?
See, that one's tough because that could be considered responsible buying because you could use you can turn around with his money and do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's also tough because, again, when you look at the Islanders' stats, he's 4th in scoring. He's not having a Nelson season. He's only got 17 goals. And it's like this team desperately needs a goal scorer. Like to the point where it's actually not even funny anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have 6 players in double digits for goals, which is okay. I'll take 6 players. Most teams only get 4 or 5, or if you're Boston, 3.
Yeah.
Only one of them has broken 20 goals.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And one of the 6 to break double digits is JG Pageau.
So gross.
Like here, I'll give you a hint. Matt Barzal does not have double-digit goals. Duclair does not have double-digit goals. And you know what? I want to clarify this. I'm not upset that they don't have double-digit goals. They both, Barzal more than Duclair, have spent a lot of time injured this year.
Yeah.
And if everybody remembers, the first 2 weeks of the season before everybody started getting hurt, Barzal, Duclair, and Horvat as a line were averaging 2 points a game.
Yeah, they started hot.
They started white hot. So I'm not upset with Barzal and Duclair for not having double-digit goals and putting up big numbers this year. Injuries, they happen. They're part of the game, literally. It's just frustrating to see. Like, listen, like we talk about during our report cards, we talk about, I believe it was Nashville. On paper,
yeah,
the Islanders have no business being this bad.
They can't score.
Right, and that's their biggest problem. I'm sorry. If this current roster was coached by Barry Trotz in the defense first system, this is a much better team. Because this roster is the defense roster.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
Just a couple of guys. Just a couple of chill guys.
Yeah, just a couple of chill guys waiting for what is probably the least anticipated rivalry game that we've seen in a few years.
Let's be real. I'm just sitting here waiting for baseball season.
Yeah, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if the Yankees are playing today. They are at 105.
No, the annoying thing with spring training is it televised?
Damn it. No, it's not.
Lame.
Ooh. Listen to this lineup.
Hit me with it.
Lead off, Ben Rice.
Sure.
Hitting second, Oswaldo Cabrera.
Okay.
Hitting third, Mets legend Dom Smith.
Oh, wait, he's on the Yankees?
Apparently.
Okay.
Spencer Jones, Everson Pereira. I don't even know half these guys because I don't think Judge has taken a spring training swing yet.
He's probably afraid of getting hurt.
You know what it is? He's growing in the beard.
True. Are the Islanders next for that? Time will tell.
Yeah, Judge has not taken a preseason swing yet.
I mean, they're only 3 days into the spring training.
5.
Whatever.
Actually, no, they're a weekend. Game started last Wednesday.
Oh, did they? The Mets didn't play till Saturday.
Well, they had it was some type of that Dodger Cubs or was it Dodgers somebody else like that?
Yeah.
Stupid one game and then 3 days off.
Yep.
Will the Islanders be next for the facial hair? Selfishly, I hope so.
They have to be next. I think they're the only other sports franchise that does that. The question is, will they ever do it?
So they are the only sports team left enforcing it. That is true. See, from an ego standpoint, you kind of almost turn around and you're like, all right, well, if the Yankees aren't enforcing it anymore, how do I justify it? And it's like, well, it's a very simple answer. You don't get rid of it. If it's going to change, it's not going to be till next season. They're going to finish the season as is.
Yeah.
especially if you do it right now, because then you turn around and whether you're doing it for the right reason or whatever, everybody's going to turn around and it makes you basically look like you're going, oh yeah, us too.
Yeah, true.
Which is stupid because it's facial hair. Like, who cares? But
yeah.
So, that being said, do we have players to guess this week?
Oh, I got one, baby.
All right. You know what? Lead the way. You go first this time.
Leading the way. Okay. My player was undrafted, and his rookie year was the 2010-2011 season.
Undrafted rookie in 2010-2011. It does nothing for me. Pass.
Okay. This player made his rookie debut with the New York Rangers.
I have no idea who you're talking about. It's not. Okay. I'm gonna throw a random guess. Even I know it's almost guaranteed to be wrong because I'm pretty sure it was like 5 years later. But it wasn't. It's not Jimmy Vesey, right?
No, not Jimmy Vesey.
I didn't think so. I'm pretty sure Vesey was like what, 14 or 15, right?
Yeah, something like that. This player was born in Oslo, Norway.
That's not a real place.
That is very much a real place.
No idea.
All right, keep going.
Go.
This player has played for 3 teams in his career, okay. Mostly the New York Rangers and the Minnesota Wild. And I'll throw in a tidbit that he has exactly 2 games played with the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, I feel like you might have just given it to me.
I probably did.
Is it Zuccarello?
It is Matt Zuccarello.
There we go. He's from Norway?
He is from Norway. He is always the best player on the Norwegian team.
I thought he was. I don't know why. I thought he was from Sweden.
No, Norway.
All right. Hopefully, mine's a little more forgiving. Actually, I'm so confident that you're not going to get this one. I'm going to give you like very specific details on some of these.
Okay.
All right. Your first hint. He is from Finland.
Capo Caco.
No. Well, the first one has to be the most ridiculous one, so I can make them easy.
Yep.
This player was a first-round draft pick in 2011.
First round 2011.
2011, I believe, is the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins draft.
Yeah, so it's not Barkov. It's not Sebastian Aho. Could it be Patrick Laine?
Patrick Laine was drafted in 2016.
Damn. He's been in and out so much. I don't know how old he is.
That's fair. Your third hint is, though he was drafted in 2011,
okay,
he did not make his debut till 2014.
Wow, he hit the 3-year gap, and he was a first-round draft pick.
Well, okay. Part of that was obviously we had the half season in 12-13, so I can't really hold that one against him. Everybody was kind of just working with what they had then. But I'll throw in a little extra tidbit. The reason why he made his debut so late, partially, was honoring a contract in a previous league.
Interesting.
Well, kind of well, think about Shesterkin and Sorokin. They wouldn't come until their KHL deals expired.
Okay, yeah.
Basically the same thing. He wouldn't leave till his contract was done.
Finnish?
Very respectable young man.
Finnish. This whole Finland thing is a problem.
No, the Finland thing is going to ruin you.
Because, who else is Finnish?
Would you like to pass?
Who else was in that draft? JT Miller was in that draft. He's obviously not Finnish.
All right.
Yeah, pass.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you. Hold on. Before you commit to that pass.
Okay.
The top 3 picks in that draft were Nugent Hopkins, Landeskog, and Huberdeau in that order.
And it's clearly none of them.
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to give you the answer.
Hey, that'd be like a little brain. It could be a little mental game right there, though. This is probably going to be me getting the wrong Scandinavian country. Is it Adam Larsson?
Adam Larsson was the 4th overall pick. Adam Larsson is from Sweden.
Yeah, it's me getting the wrong Scandinavian country.
That's okay. You tried your best.
I did.
This player has played on 3 different teams through his career so far.
Okay.
The team he spent the most time with would be Montreal.
Nice crack.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That sounded like it helped.
I gotta do the other side too. Oh, the other side doesn't want to go.
Montreal. Jonas Brodin's not finished, right?
Jonas Brodin is not the answer. But Jonas Brodin is also Swedish.
God.
Your last hint, and I'm gonna load it with information for you.
Okay.
To date, 92 career goals, 178 career points, and as wild as this sentence might be, was on the Canadian Stanley Cup team roster from the pandemic.
All right, so we got ourselves a bit of a grinder here. Oh my God, that pandemic thing is just a blur.
That's why I was comfortable giving it to you.
I got bad words for you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Do you know the answer, Luna? I need some help. Who was on that team?
Well, the Canadiens' final Stanley Cup final roster. I believe
that team had, if I remember correctly, Ben Sherratt, Jonathan Drouin, Eric Gustafson. I want to say they had, Corey.
So I'll give you some players from this team.
Okay.
This team had Tyler Toffoli, Nick Suzuki, Brendan Gallagher, Corey Perry, Jonathan Drouin, Shea Weber,
they had Michael Frolik. He's not Finnish. Alex Belzile is Canadian. I want to say they had Tomas Tatar. He's not Finnish. I don't know. I don't know.
Joel Armia.
Oh, God. You came at me with Joel Armia?
I had to. You know why? Because it worked.
I respect it. That's a good one.
Well, listen, I was able to pull tenure, and I kept within our 3 years in the league rule. I know a thing or two about a thing or two.
That is a player. That is a name I know. I just wasn't going to pull that out of my hat.
So that being said, I'm not looking forward to this game tonight.
I'm looking forward to it in the fact that it's two bad teams, and that means anything can happen.
It's one of those things where it's two bad teams and anything can happen, but it's also two teams that are good enough to still sneak into that wild card. So this game could either be abysmal to watch, or it could be like they're just going to beat the piss out of each other for an hour.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Maybe Matt Rempe will take out Tony DeAngelo. That'll be fun. Dude, I think he had an assist on one of the goals on Sunday, and when they announced his assist, like nobody applauded for him. It was really funny.
He's such a weird case because since they got him, and this is probably not saying much, but he's made the defense significantly better.
No, yeah, he's played well.
Like we've spoken about on and off the camera, it's all until he opens his face hole.
Yep.
I think the fact that the media hasn't gone anywhere near him since he got here is not on accident.
Yep.
Listen, you know how I feel about it. If he keeps his mouth shut, he does the right things, and at the end of the day, does his job, I have no problem with him being here.
Yeah, and that's fair enough.
But now, if you're legitimately trying to, so to speak, not have that reputation or be that guy in the league anymore, and you're just wanting to play the game, okay. You also have to understand that you had three teams of not exactly the best track record behind you. You need to understand that it's going to be a little hostile.
It's gonna take time for you to overcome that.
yeah, and you know, not for nothing. He is 29. Time is not exactly something he has.
Yeah.
So the longer it takes for him to do damage control, so to speak, the worse off it's going to be for him. But we are buffering like crazy. I have to go to work. You have to do bank stuff. Let's put a nice bow on this and remind everybody about Thursday's show. Same time, same place, Thursday, 5 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, Spotify. If you can think of it, we're probably on there. And if you can think of it and we're not on there, we'll go there.
And follow us on TikTok because this very handsome boy does a lot of work for TikTok.
Yes, follow the TikTok. The TikTok is probably the most active non-episode social media we have. The TikTok, Andrew's posting great stuff on TikTok. So with that being said, Tyler Dell, Andrew Mikari, we cannot thank you enough for spending your Tuesday with us. We will see you in 48 hours.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go.